as well. We're into the draft now. Senna is going to be the first ban of the game on the blue side here, and maybe a little bit of an untraditional ban, but PBO makes Senna look pretty scary. So we'll take this one off the table, and then your regular customers are out here in the ban phase as well. Olaf still off the table here.
Classic everything right now. Lilia, though,
Yeah.
I'm surprised has been emerging. I didn't expect that with the decline in Gore Drinker junglers that Lilia would pop up more. It's been more, chem tank oriented, and she does seem really squishy, but we talked about the movement speed earlier. We talked about the utility in the team fights, so she's been relatively high priority today. We'll see if that continues. There's only one ban left, though, with Graves taken off the table, and it will be the Aphelios. Banning that away against Titan is a good idea.
Definitely. Not too many bot laners that you would want to ban in this first rotation. I think Kai's the only one really left up here, but Udyr left up as well. I believe he's been taking, or left out in the cold every draft so far, so this will be our first Udyr. But there's 2 picks here for red side to answer back. I'm expecting the bot lane. That's normally what we see with the third pick jungle. And yeah, there's Kai'Sa. Rel up as well. Could
Go for it. Do it.
Yeah, for El Clasico here. I'm not really sure what the Canids would answer back with at that juncture. Oh,
interesting.
Okay.
Instead of opting for the Talia into Udyr, they leave the Rel up for Red Canids, and Jojo is very comfortable on the Rel, so I expect that to be a lock in here at the very least.
So the thing with the Talia matchup into Udyr, not necessarily how they play against each other. Talia can be pretty good at kiting back, but it's more about just the gank priority and the way that they gank lanes against each other, right? And the Talia really bringing a lot of damage to the table and trying to get an advantage early over the Udyr, who is going to be trying to hard farm those first few levels and then try and roll that into objective control. But the Seraphine locked in here. Presumably that's for Avenger, but could be for Jojo. Yeah, I was going to say.
That's the other power of the Seraphine, right? Is that now you get to just hang out and Cruzeiro finally get that Rel that I guess they were dangling this whole time. You'll take it,
Yep.
But the Seraphine sticks out like a sore thumb here. That is a rough pick to give over.
For sure. I mean, they've given up the Seraphine and the Udyr. To be honest, they got the Kai'Sa and Talia back. Love the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa's insane right now. They got the Rel to match it as well, but I don't know if Talia is worth giving up Udyr and Seraphine, especially when Red is going to be getting Xayah, which counters Kai'Sa better than any other ADC does. It's still up in the air whether or not this is a Kai'Sa like hard counter, but it's at least mitigating the damage that Kai'Sa will be doing for sure. Looking for the last ban here, blue side.
Already Janna taken off the table, which is really good, especially with Hawk piloting that Rel. You don't want to be shut down exclusively in lane because Janna coupled with Seraphine as well would give you so much ridiculous sustain, so much ridiculous team fight control that you can't actually afford to give that one over, and it's going to be one of the few times that we see a Rel counter pick banned away. Syndra, the first lock-in for Piloto, who unfortunately didn't have the best time yesterday. I believe that was Red who were they matched up against? This was some ridiculous game. Hold on, let me check this. Red Canids went up against INTZ. This isn't real. Wait a minute. Okay, they went up against INTZ, and unfortunately Piloto did not have the most fun in that game.
Yikes. Yeah, it doesn't sound like they would. I don't think Cruz have too many good matchups as far as teams go. But yeah, Piloto, especially up against some of the mid laners in this league, is feels pretty bad most of the time. We'll go ahead and say. But so the support and Seraphine have been locked. So that means Avenger's probably going to be on Seraphine. Looking for a top laner. They're going to blind.
Oh my,
Jax?
no, you monsters. Okay, this is interesting because Cruzeiro has saved the last pick counter pick for top lane, but I really like the Jax here. This is Red Canids, especially with Guigo, who has been one of the top laners in the league, just throwing a gauntlet. And honestly, Trucklax had such a tough time responding that it's going to be the Scion.
Yep, the Scion locked in here to try and, I guess, just shut down the lane is the best that they can hope for. But really,
It's on
I
a
would
timer.
want. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would want something to be a little bit more proactive. So this is what we talked about in game one, right? Robo locked in the Scion because he's got chops on the champion for starters, but also because he can try and shut down Gnar. The issue with that was that A, Robo wasn't really able to do that. Um, and B, that there were probably champions better suited for the job. I think what crews are looking for here is someone that can shut down this lane, just kind of go even with Guigo, and then try and front for their team. I don't know if this will be enough. I think this is trying to stop the bleeding on a problem that they could have been proactive about. You're not losing the game yet, right?
Yeah.
You could go for something early game here and try to beat Guigo. So playing the game like you have to, like you lost draft or something like that with your counter pick, I don't know if that was the best situation. I would like to see them be more proactive and be more aggressive with their pick.
Yeah, it puts you on a little bit of a timer. Granted, the rest of the map can still try and play aggressive. I'd really like to see Sting pop off on the Talia, especially, a champion that really can get you rolling, that can still eat through Jax. But Loto has a nice skin. What is that?
That is the is it Crystal Rose? I think it might be Crystal
Crystal Rose
Rose.
Syndra? Oh my lord.
I think so. It might be like Black Rose or something, but not 100%. That came out recently though, so
Okay,
um,
very nice. I really
makes
like the
sense.
Swain one with that. Swain with flowers is real chill.
Yeah, that one is definitely Crystal Rose. I know that,
Yeah.
but yeah, those are pretty cool. You're seeing Guigo coming out here. He's got the Mech Jax skin. He's got the
Jetpacks.
fighter. Yeah, he's got the jets with him. Um, but no mech skin for Trucklax. It's gonna be World Breaker. It's a pretty cool skin.
This is pretty chill. As unfortunately we have the incorrect Alistair skin along with us, which will be,
Yeah,
we got to shake our heads and say, no, no, Jojo is wrong. Don't do
is
that.
wrong.
Yeah, he
It was
will
the year
learn.
of the ox. It was the year of the ox. So I'm glad Riot went for it, but yeah, I don't know about this.
Yeah,
They use the same chroma too. It's just man.
I don't know what it is, man. Maybe it's the colors. They're trying to, when you pick a champion like Blitzcrank and laugh all game, or like, maybe it's one of those where
Yeah,
like you just can't stand seeing it in your lane, so you have to engage on Alistair.
yeah, yeah. It's like putting up the red cloth in front of the bowl or something. But yeah, no. Okay, so we'll frame it this way. Those are Brazil colors, right? Well, I
Are they
guess
real?
no. It'd be
No.
green and yellow, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that
Maybe
would
this
be
is the
red.
closest
So
he gets. Maybe he's colorblind. Is that how
maybe
colorblindness
could be,
works?
and maybe in colorblind mode it's yellow and green. Who
Yeah,
knows?
that would be
Or
cool.
blue, green, and yellow. That's what the flag is, right? Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they
There's the
got the little
engage.
circle on it. It's the whole thing. Somebody tell Axeman where Brazil is.
Please, where's Brazil? I don't know. Oh man, but JoJo gets the hard engage on Hawk, takes a lot of damage. Um, that aftershock proc from Hawk, massive there, mitigating a bunch of damage there too. See, this is the problem, man. I know there's more game to League of Legends in the first 2 minutes, but watching Scion in the first 2 minutes of League games today makes me think, why oh why are we picking this champion? Like,
Yeah,
jeez, it's just rough to watch, man. I mean, we saw a Gnar and now a Jax bullying a champion early game. Well, why are we picking this?
it's just delayed suffering. I don't understand.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, he's got grasp. I understand what he's trying to do here. Trying to scale up, be a hyper tank. I
Hmm.
can think of better hyper tanks than Scion. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, and ideally hyper tanks with a little bit more lane presence in the early game as well. Scion, of course, does have these really big base damages, but especially
Yep.
the level 2 being hit by Guigo, and in a lane that I think you can already expect Red Canids to play 2 and around, it's going to be really tough for Chucklax to find success. Avenger getting a nice push here. I actually don't expect to see too much action outside of that small spike there in the early stages of the game, as Guigo does throw the wave under the tower and expectedly back off to throw down some pressure elsewhere.
So I'm expecting Aegis and JoJo to make their way mid lane, uh, not just periodically, but hopefully often down the bot lane. Here we got
Talia's
Sting.
shown up. We got a full engage right now. Jojo
Oh,
yeets him out of there as the teleport does get channeled into the bot
okay.
lane. Heal gets expended from PBO to try and save Hawk, but it doesn't quite work there. The dismount finally clutching
Oh,
the deal. Now we got another teleport in though, as this fight is continuing to be on a nice edge. Avenger does manage to get out now, but with Guigo showing up, he could find a kill here. Finds first blood
oh.
onto Sting, and Cruzeiro walk away one weaker.
Good stuff there for the Knids. Great teleport from Avenger. Even better from Guigo. And I was about to talk about Avenger having Guardian, and they're able to make use of the Keystone there with the teleport down into their team, getting to block a little bit of damage. But I guess that's one of the ways you can make it work. I was about to say Aegis and JoJo need to make their way mid lane to be able to proc that rune, getting value out of it. But if Avenger comes to them, that works too.
Yeah, this it looks good for Seraphine right now because Avenger, as long as he can, like you say, make use of the rune, hang out, throw his abilities around, game's not on him right now. Guigo just got a kill. You got a Zaya for scaling as well, and you're off to a great early start already with the first blood. Like I said, being on Jax, it's a scary prospect if you are the side of Cruzeiro. We're gonna see that play one more time though.
JoJo, great heads up play, knocking Sting away from the action. Avenger, perhaps even further heads up with the teleport here. Doesn't get Hawk. Hawk has to use their engage to escape here. JoJo
Another
back in
one.
with another good knockup onto Sting. And here's Guigo in with the first blood. Massive QW play. Going to get the kill onto, I believe Peloto was the one that went down there, but um, or no, it was Sting. Sting had a pretty rough play there. And by the way, watching that replay, think of that replay through the lens of that Aegis was not there. One of the only champions is just Aegis and Trucklax that weren't there, and Aegis during that play was getting a 3 camp lead on Sting, who not only died but gave up first blood. In terms of like a differential between what happened in that play for these two junglers, this was awful for Sting, right? And Aegis is making out like a bandit just for clearing their camps.
Yeah, this is. Oh, might be actually checking in one more time right now. Titan forced to flash away right now. Cruzeiro waiting patiently in the
Ooh.
wings. Do pick up JoJo, and Titan is but a delayed conclusion. Although Aegis has shown up to try and defend him, this is a big numbers disadvantage, and it's a teleport into
Oh
the bot
boy.
lane. Cruzeiro tripling down on this lane right now. As 5 members are here, Titan has no flash, and he's very, very dead to
Ooh.
Trucklax.
Yeah, so
That was
shutting
pretty
down
cool.
one of the yeah, no, it was pretty cool. I like the ultimates from Zion are pretty neat. It's a cool chroma too, but identifying one of the win conditions in the late game for red and shutting it down in Titan. It's a pretty good play from Cruz. Now they're leaving Guido topside for this, but Peloto blast cones over the wall. They're gonna find JoJo as he's just a little bit too far out there, and things start to look bleak for Titan, and the teleport for Trucklax is going to do it for them. They get out of dodge, or at least try to anyway. Titan gets knocked up by the unstoppable force, and Aegis kind of left, tail between their legs, like, well, I don't know what to do 3v5. I hope Guigo's doing something top lane, and we'll see what they were doing. Um, oh, the match has been paused, so guess we'll
We
be
just
here
get
for
to
a while.
hang out for a little while, Axeman.
Definitely. So, it's a good play from Cruz.
Yeah.
We talked about maybe them having some issues with aggression, being proactive in their Scion pick, but it looks like at least on the Rift, they are being very proactive and getting that aggression down, which is good, right? It's a heavy scaling team from Red. They picked a lot of late game champions, so seeing this play style from Cruz is exactly what we need to be seeing. After the pause, I'd like to see them move on to Dragon, which I believe should have spawned
Hmm.
at 5 minutes, but as that would be making the best use of their 5-man play bot lane. But um, I guess we'll have to see after the pause comes down.
Yeah, would be a really nice use of the teleport. I've forgotten which dragon it was that spawned, but depending on that could give you quite a bit of value. I'm really happy with what you said though, with Cruzeiro being proactive, because it's something that they not only struggled with in appearances in draft, but they have struggled with consistently throughout the season. And making a play to get back into the game is exactly what you need to happen there. You don't want to roll over, let that single kill go over. It does look like, however, that even off the back of that, Cruzeiro are letting the dragon go down. It is the first dragon being an ocean drake that has been given over. Guigo in the meantime getting plates on the top side. It's not like we have Red Canids just rolling over and taking this.
Yeah, and that was a great play. And part of that play, by the way, was just Red with all of their, like 300 movement speed there at like level 6 or whatever they had, for Titan and Aegis to just walk away from the lane, right? Because what it does is, even if one of them was going to get caught and not get out, it wastes so much of Cruz's time to have to chase them down that lane. And with Trucklax ulting down the lane to pick them up too, it buried them all the way in the back end of that bot lane to the point where they had, very few ultimate abilities. Some of them were missing summoner spells, and they were pretty much as far away from Dragon as they could have been on that play. So some of them are going to take the reset, and they end up giving away the objective back to Red, who have very short death timers and end up maintaining a lot of their abilities.
They do keep the golden touching distance though, as Red had a small lead before, now ever so slightly in the favor of Cruzeiro, an essentially even game right now, which will ultimately end up favoring Red. So they've got to find a way to crack one of these scalers open. Guigo looks like a tasty target right now.
Yep, and Trucklax shoving the wave in.
Oh, Aegis
Guigo.
is here as well. Guigo, I think, is just going to get burst first, though. Jumps out and doesn't get hit back by the seismic shove, but Sting
Ooh.
picks that up with the last auto. Aegis, I don't even want to say a little bit too late. He looked like he was right on time, but Sting's just
Yeah,
got the damage.
Sting does have the damage, and Trucklax brings enough CC to seal the deal onto Guigo. Um, Counter Strike will block your auto attacks, but a lot of ability damage coming out of Cruz in the top side of the map there, so it doesn't help him out as much as it normally would. Even hopping away with Q doesn't give him enough space between himself and the gank to get away there. Trucklax looking for plates, going to back off instead. As Sting is calling for some support here on the Rift Herald. They want to make sure that they maintain their map pressure, right? It's one thing to say, hey, we have a 300 gold lead. That means we have map pressure. That means we can take objectives. It's another thing to say, hey, we can get this off of red. They're going to let us have it, right?
Oh,
Because no, they're not.
Aegis. Yeah, he tries to contest right there, but he's going to eat a bunch of damage on his way out. Doesn't get hit back by the seismic shove, though, just barely. And that would have been disastrous, honestly, if he had gone down. What he does do, though, and you mentioned this before, is waste time. Red Canon's actually really good about knowing when they can and have to. Titan ends up getting multiple plates on the bot side once again, and it feels like no matter where you go as Cruzeiro, you're losing somewhere.
For sure, and I think it's I like it better this way, stacking 5 onto objectives, because the thing is that the team you're up against, your limits, you understand all that stuff. So just saying, you know what, even if it's not the best, we're always going to have a 2-man advantage, might be the best for Cruzeiro, right? Because if they fight that 2v2 top lane, Trucklax Sting versus Aegis Guigo, I don't know if Cruz wins.
Mm-hmm.
So going for this play, it makes a little bit more success. Makes a little bit more sense, even if they're losing things on the opposite side of the map. But Cruz, at least for the time being, uh, behind for now, despite their best efforts. So who knows? Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about here, but Aegis at least enjoying a pretty heavy CS lead.
Certainly is, and I mean, it makes sense when you consider that Sting has been topside for the past couple minutes right now, waiting to drop that Rift Herald, it seemed like, but the wave not crashing is going to make it very difficult to do so. We'll see if they can actually make that play around the objective worth it, because they are technically down a dragon with another one spawning very soon. If you can't make use of the gold that you get off of Rift Herald, you are going to be in a little bit of trouble.
So for me, watching these two junglers play against each other, this is a jungler that brings a lot of damage to the table, but also quite a bit of just utility
Mm-hmm.
in Talia against a jungler that is literally just like hard clearing camps, and then trying to win the game through that, which is kind of the season 11 way so far. Seeing Aegis and their team still winning, still having a bit of a gold lead here, says to me that the jungle nerfs weren't necessarily enough to really change things, at least in pro play. So, I think that might be the support jungler dead here, but it's just the best of one, so not a huge sample size.
You might have seen this at the same time as me, or in the same space, but I saw somebody tweeting an argument about how the changes to jungle, you want to get rid of farming junglers, so you decrease the gold per camp. Makes sense, right? But that
Yeah.
but that what it actually does is make it so much harder for junglers that spike early and who want to gank, who have a harder time clearing, because now when they go back into their jungle, they're getting way less, and those ganks, having them execute or not, is so much more important. Hawk, however, he's going to interrupt my point by perhaps going down here. He just grabs the last slap, and the Rift Herald shouldn't actually even be able to find a charge. Cruzeiro whiffed that one big.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with that point. Nobody got hurt more in those changes that were directed at your Olafs and your Udyrs than champions like J4 and Rek'Sai.
Mm-hmm. It
Because
hurts.
not only were they hurting from not being able to like just hard clear the jungle over and over, now they're hurting even more because they're lower level when they're going for the ganks. But you're staying in with the ult.
Titan turning a little bit. That's
Jeez.
a really big seismic shove, but it doesn't actually end up saving them, as Avenger blows two flashes with the teleport, and without missing their jungler, Red will be able to walk straight onto the dragon. Sting, not so lucky.
Guigo gonna get found by Trucklax as Guigo was standing on the ward and just gonna hop over the wall and
Does he have
rechannel
pork?
the back there. He just did not have smite there, but is able to take the dragon down anyway. Second one of the game for him, and now Red is on the 1K gold lead. Not the biggest lead we've seen. Oh, I'm seeing down in that tweet it said I know 4K means like what
Why?
or how or
Why?
something. Why? Yeah, and then why Rek'Sai?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure that says something to the effect of why did you nerf jungle? Rek'Sai was slow enough.
I think so. I think that they're getting exactly what we're putting down.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, the point about the early game like gank style junglers like the Lee Sins, the Elises, Rek'Sais, J4s, champions that were really strong in like season 10, and going back in further into like season 9 and historically just in general. Yeah, no, this hurts them even more. It feels super bad. That's why I was talking about like this is better for support junglers is what it's really good for,
Mm.
like your Sejuani, stuff like that. People that weren't hard clearing the jungle, but do bring utility to the table regardless. Um, and I guess maybe not as good for them as I had originally thought, at least by this sample size of one game.
Yeah, I will. We'll find out. We'll have a few more competitive games before then. Red, though, might be pulling a little bit of sandwich maneuver. Who's trapped in here with who is my question, as it seems like Cruzeiro are going to be able to finagle their way out using the minions, and Guigo gets back to farming. Has completed the Blade of the Ruin King right now, so definitely Trucklax not laning against this guy is a win for Cruzeiro.
For sure, yeah. And I mean, Trucklax had out CSing Guigo right now, which is pretty amazing to me. I mean, we didn't see Trucklax having a lot of having any really good trades with Guigo there in the early game. This is mostly just down to Sting intervention, and also Trucklax getting the heck out of dodge there. You see him pushing down the bot lane turret there. But yeah, Red looking for Rift, and this is perfect. Epic monster control from them so far here at 15 minutes, which is what you'd like to see at second Rift, I think.
Yep, it
Um,
is.
as we're past the 15-minute mark here. And the second time today we've seen Rift Heralds go down on spawn. And I really like to see that because to me, objective control isn't just getting, Dragon Soul. That's a huge advantage. But if you're getting Rift Heralds on spawn along with the dragons, that to me is like the epitome of objective control because you're looking for epic monsters, you're looking for turret damage, looking for the plating, and that is what the essence of objective control is I'm gonna win through the PvE portion of this game.
They're doing really well at it. Cruzeiro, I was gonna say you would be forgiven to think that there's only been one Rift Herald taken because Cruzeiro dropped theirs and it didn't get a charge in bot lane. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yikes.
unlucky. I've been watching all this skin game though, as it's the biggest thing on my screen. As
Oh yeah.
finally, second tower will go down to Avenger. First tower given over to Trucklax.
Good stuff there. Cruz closed in on the kill. Guigo having to back off for the time being. So he's got the Bork. Not the tankiest Jax. Seeing how
No,
that yep, yeah, not the tankiest at all.
I don't know. Yeah, he has full vision on everybody. Decides to stick around and
Yep.
pays for it with his life. Actually, Aegis, fully knowing that there were also three people here, goes in, face checks that one, and I think comes away with a with a grump. I think he got that.
I think he might have gotten the Gromp there. Was it worth it? I don't think so. Risking your life over that, but um, he does get it. Has the win there for himself. And next dragon up should be in about a minute. Yeah, there we go. Almost dead on.
The
Um,
more I see
with
this
the
Crystal Rose skin, oh,
it's good.
it's
That
so
looks like a
good.
chroma too, and that
Yeah.
chroma looks really good. But um, this is going to be a pretty early dragon soul here if they take this on spawn. And another cloud soul. Have they all been cloud souls today? I think they
Yeah.
might.
Yeah, so far, yeah.
Yeah. So we got 3 cloud souls so far, which is I think unheard of, but um, and it's regarded as the weakest one. So maybe dragon's not as important today in CBLOL.
Doesn't seem like it. I want to say that there's some benefit to having, and that's definitely true for both teams, but it's not like it breaks the game for anybody, as opposed to, things like Mountain Soul, things like Infernal that can really just crack this one open, especially when we're still at an even game. Cruzeiro are doing pretty well, keeping up with Red, but I think it's important to remember that one of these teams has Xayah Jax, and one of these
Ooh.
teams is about to not have Trucklax.
Yeah, it's a rough team to be playing a hyper tank into, right? A lot of sustained damage, a lot of tank shred on this team. So difficult to have to deal with that. First dragon of the game. Gonna come down for Cruz. So they pick up the Cloud Dragon there. Red doing pretty well on the opposite side of the map. We'll see if this charge goes off. It's got 7 health.
If we can
Literally
get
just
it,
got to breathe on it.
we get it. We get.
And
Oh my God!
yeah,
It lands
wow,
with 3 HP.
that's wild. So I guess it resists ability damage or something like that. Is why Piloto only did 4 damage with that Q.
I
Um,
suppose.
I had no idea, but something happened there. Anyway, the charge goes off on the top inhib turret. Um, I think that's just unfortunate for Cruz, to be honest. I
It is.
mean,
It's unlucky.
it's tiny margin there, but um, mythic items for everybody but Guigo and Jax. Makes me wonder if the Blade of the Rune King was worth the pickup here. Good item on Jax, for sure. But I think Divine Sunder, the Triforce was there. Could have gone for those.
I wonder
He
if he'll go
definitely had.
for Triforce or Divine next.
Yeah, I think he's probably going Divine, but. Oh, Avenger. I know exactly where Avenger's going.
I mean, hopefully away does manage to flash there, and Trucklax burns Summoner for Summoner. Avenger, maybe not the most juicy pick, although Seraphine does look tempting. It's difficult with the amount of vision that Cruzeiro have right now to actually coordinate that pick.
Yeah, they're kind of getting kicked around in the vision game right now. There's a lot of deep vision for blue side. Red has a lot of blue wards, if that wasn't confusing for you, um, in the red side jungle. Uh,
Guigo?
but oh
Guigo wins
yeah, now I
these?
confused myself.
Guigo,
Ooh, PBO
Guigo
with the ult.
leaves.
No.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
Hawk coming over,
yeah,
though, did make it so that Guigo really did have to leave. As much as I
yeah.
want to see him
Actually,
fight.
yeah. If PBO had gotten that ult over that wall, I think they might have been in trouble.
Yeah,
Just
as
in the Baron pit with Guigo.
Hawk
Oh,
finds the engage here. Hawk
oh
very much
no.
dies here as the Blade Collar is enough to finish him off. Encore not going to find anyone, and Cruzeiro walk away. One member a little bit weaker. Red Canids get themselves a pick, but there's nothing really up for them to take, so they're just going to send Titan right back down to the bot lane.
And for Cruz, this is real rough, right? Because you're supposed to be looking for picks yourself with your comp. and you're unfortunately getting picked off by red just in the center of your own mid lane, and that is it just shows that they had the lack of control there, maybe even the lack of communication, to be honest. And the engage comes through from the rel,
Oh
and
my
Hawk
god.
ends up just whoa, okay,
Flash Bear Stop starts it off. Let's see who can finish it. Guigo jumps in there, but
jeez.
it's Aegis that goes on a killing spree. That was such a convincing trigger pull from Red Canids. Just seeing them clear a ward. Cruzeiro go down.
Oh yeah, and he's got like solo lane CS right now, and now that he has the kill participation as well, I would imagine the gold is pretty good for Aegis. It's a good time to be the bear man, and he has
Zoom
got
zoom.
his costume ready. Aegis touches the stun. Jeez, the movement speed's nuts right now. I don't know what that item is called, the one that gives you movement speed, but is like a health item that he's got in his inventory. But so good
Oh yes.
on Udyr, and he's also got the chem tank as well. Um, so oh, and he just completed the dead man's plate there too. So very fast, lot of movement speed.
Big Zoomer is the Udyr, and Aegis certainly taking control of the game right then. We'll see if he can continue that pattern, as he had been pretty quiet in the early game, trying to play as reactively as he could. Now is the time, though, when with 2 items working on 3, Udyr really does come online and is able to start off these plays. With Dragon coming up in 51 seconds, I expect to see that anytime. Axeman may have died. That might have happened. Red Kids
I think I'm back.
are going to... Yeah, there we go. Positioning for
Yeah,
this
there we go.
Dragon.
Yeah, this should be the next big fight here, and weirdly enough, Titan is down the bot lane, waiting for the push out, but he's back with the team now. Um, can't stress enough, red with the blue wards in the red side jungle. There's like 3 control wards, I think, down here.
Yeah, no
They
vision on
have
the
this,
dragon for Cruzeiro either. Trucklax,
oof.
I want to say gets initiated on, but that might be generous. It is Hawk, however, who starts this one off. Does find the stun onto Avenger and Jojo, but that means no CC's left for Guigo, who jumps right in onto Sting, finds that kill, and now Hawk's being chased down on the back end. Trucklax more than
Oh
capable
no.
of eating damage. Hawk, not so much right now. Should have the dismount over the wall to keep him alive, but Aegis is ruthlessly chasing him down. That is so unfortunate. You have to play the game against an Udyr, my man, and that is why we see this champion banned.
Hawk does not escape bear, unfortunately, this go around. And yeah, no, that was just great play from Red, especially from Aegis getting onto the back line. I believe in that fight alone, he stunned PBO, Piloto, and Hawk. And remember, he started the fight out by stunning Trucklax. So it was just Sting that escaped the claws of the bear that go around. And it's not a long stun, folks, but if you can stun 4 people in one fight, that's good enough, right?
Yeah, it ends up being a big staggering of damage and a real interrupter of the way you want to play the team fight. Cruzeiro already struggling with the team fights at this point of the game. Just compositionally, when you're going into the respective comp that Red Canids have, are not going to be having the greatest time into Udyr. It is Trinity Force, by the way, that Guigo has opted to pick up.
Makes a lot of sense for Jax here. And to be honest, he's not laning against Trucklax anymore. I
Yep.
think if he went first item, Divine Sunder would have made more sense. But he went first item Bork, and now that he's looking to fight crews, which are predominantly, these squishy champions, their carries, Triforce makes a little bit more sense here. So we like to see that. And something as well about Aegis and the stuns is that it's not a long stun, but when you're talking about crews and their playstyle of being like this hard engage, everybody trying to make it in except Piloto, and something happens where like Hawk goes for the engage, Aegis walks in the backline and stuns PBO, that really messes up Cruz's engage potential, right? Because now Hawk is all the way in the back line and he's stunning people, making a bunch of trouble there for Red, and nobody's following up because they're getting stunned by Udyr on the back end. It's like, oh man, even if Udyr doesn't kill anybody there, he's really, really messing with their playstyle.
Yeah, so suddenly somebody's got to go deal with it, and it's only going to get more problematic as Red, still continuing to do a great job controlling vision right now, have moved that all the way over to the Baron pit where Cruzeiro are blind.
100% here.
Mm.
Jojo. Yikes. Blow does a lot of damage, but You're hitting the support here. But Chem Tank as well, also on the Alistar.
Blue
I think
ward
we've seen that.
comes down. Jojo is waiting for the engage. It seems like Red want to be able to peel off of this Baron. Jojo's going to spot out Piloto coming over, give him a little bop as the teleport does get used, and it's another DPS source you don't have, especially with Aegis rushing your front line. You're a little worried right now.
Ooh.
Goes to about half health as
What?
Titan ults in a questionable direction, but hey. Redkins are still looking for the engage. Guigo, Counter-Strike, not going to find any stuns in the end. Might find Hawk, though, with the damage. Trucklex goes down first, as Titan is cleaning up the kills right now. Trucklex chasing him down, but there isn't a whole lot to be done here. PBO's life is coming at a premium at the moment, as it costs 2 lives and half of his health bar just to stay in the game. Redkins, on the other hand, don't really look that injured.
Yeah, not really. 27 minutes in the game, definitely doing Baron here. You just got the base stats for it at that point, but they're also pretty far in the lead over top of Cruz. And can Cruz contest? They got time. They got members. Piloto teleporting in for the fight here.
PBO doesn't have
be a
mana.
3v4. Yeah, PBO doesn't have mana, so this might just be them harrowing.
Okay, Avenger does end up having to disengage, and Jojo does get sniped out, so 2 picks net going over. Although,
oh, no.
As I say that, it might just be the trade back. Sting does go down, giving Titan yet another kill, and it is just Guigo and Jojo who die for Baron and several kills.
So Titan and Aegis show for Redkins here today on CBLOL, as they are a combined 10-1 and 10 on the Rift. But you can check out the gold there, 13,000, or that's the damage total, excuse me, 13,000 damage in this fight. That's quite a lot. We're getting into the late game here, and that's where Titan is going to shine on this carry. They tried to ban him out, they couldn't do it, Dia.
No, this you can't take everything away from this man, and especially with Xayah being as strong as she is right now, negating exactly what Cruzeiro want to do. It's pretty perfect. It's a nice situation that he finds himself in. It's making me laugh though that Avenger has the 0-0-10 scoreline with Moonstaff build. It's just like the guy doesn't have to play the game. He just presses W every once in a while. Has hit some really nice encores, but this is I have very happy Seraphine Jojo forced to flash.
I mean, Cruz just wants the beef, right? And I can't fault them for that.
No, you can't. It might be all that they get, honestly.
Ooh.
Good engage from Hawk, finds Titan
damage.
and Avenger, but oh, there's so much in the front line, just stuffing everybody else from joining. Titan picks up 2 kills with the feathers, and Jojo gonna escape more than alive after the end of what looked like a play from Cruzeiro for him. Soul, like you say, does go down. It's a lot of movement speed given over to Redkins. Piloto's gonna go down. Sting under the tower, not long for the world as Jojo eats that last tower shot. And now Redkins, they should be able to end the game here.
He just resets under turret, takes the turret.
That was interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But yeah, Red, I think they're getting 2 inhibs here. It's 2 seconds on Hawk. Can't really do anything. PBO up in 5.
They're not going for the end?
Just, I don't... we'll see.
They can do it.
Titans...
23 seconds on Sting, 21 on... Oh my lord, Aegis is so fast. PBO is forced into his literal fountain. There's a teleport channeled in the mid lane. Redkins, they want to look for the end right now, and Trucklax might not have too much to say about it. CC is there. Big engage from Hawk. Does get deleted, though, even after he stuns 4 people, and Redkins get to turn their eyes onto the Nexus, though. Classic CBLOL team's looking for the final kills. There are 3-man encore. Actually might spell another one, and they do find the double kill in the Nexus. Avenger still lives at the end of that, and Redkins walk away with the win.